There are women who walk into a room and nothing visibly changes. No sound, no spectacle, no obvious display of power. And yet, something shifts. The air feels denser. Conversations subtly realign. People either feel drawn closer or quietly unsettled without knowing why. This is not charisma. This is not confidence. This is something far older, far deeper, and far rarer. Because hidden beneath the surface of ordinary life, there exists a kind of spiritual power that cannot be taught in schools, cannot be faked through self-help rituals, and cannot be fully understood by those who do not carry it. It is not loud. It does not seek attention, and often the woman who possesses it doesn't even realize what she is. Throughout history, these women were misunderstood. Some were called mystics, some were feared as witches, some were revered as oracles, healers, or divine conduits, but most lived quietly among others, carrying a force within them that shaped reality in subtle, almost invisible ways. You may have met one, or perhaps you are one. In this video, we will uncover 7 hidden signs of women who carry rare spiritual power, signs that are often overlooked, misinterpreted, or even suppressed by society itself. These are not superficial traits. They are energetic signatures, patterns of being that reveal a deep connection to something beyond the physical world. And as we explore them, you may begin to notice something strange, a quiet recognition, a sense that these words are not new, but remembered. Because true spiritual power is never learned for the first time. It is awakened. So the question is not, do these women exist? The real question is, why has their power remained hidden for so long? And what happens when it finally begins to rise? Long before modern psychology tried to map the human mind, before science attempted to measure reality through instruments, ancient civilizations already understood that some individuals were born with a heightened connection to unseen forces. And among them, women held a particularly mysterious role. In the temples of ancient Egypt, there were priestesses who were not merely servants of ritual, but living conduits of divine intelligence. They did not just worship the gods, they channeled them. Their presence alone was believed to alter the energetic field of a space, as if they stood between 2 worlds at once. In ancient Greece, the Oracle of Delphi spoke words that shaped kingdoms and destinies. Kings and warriors would travel vast distances, not for advice, but for revelation. And yet, the oracle herself was often seen as fragile, almost overwhelmed by the very force that moved through her. This was not weakness, it was the cost of being open to something far greater than the self. Across Eastern traditions, particularly in tantric and yogic philosophy, feminine energy, often referred to as Shakti, was not passive or secondary. It was the creative force of the universe itself, the unseen current that animates all life. And certain women were believed to embody this energy more intensely, becoming catalysts for transformation simply through their presence. But here is where the story takes a darker turn. As societies became more structured, more controlled, and more focused on external power, this inner intuitive force became difficult to regulate, and what cannot be controlled is often feared. During the periods of persecution in Europe, countless women who displayed heightened intuition, emotional depth, or healing abilities were labeled as threats.
not because they were dangerous, but because they were unpredictable. Their power did not come from institutions, titles, or hierarchies. It came from within, and that made them impossible to contain. So over time, the narrative shifted. What was once seen as sacred became suspicious. What was once honored became hidden, and what was once awakened naturally began to be suppressed even within the individual herself. This is why even today, many women with rare spiritual power do not recognize it. They may feel different, they may sense things others cannot explain, they may experience deep inner knowing without logical proof. But instead of trusting it, they question it, they doubt it, they silence it. Because for generations, this power was not just misunderstood, it was discouraged. And yet, it never disappeared. It simply went underground, like a dormant force waiting for the right moment, the right awareness, the right awakening. Now, in a time where people are beginning to question surface-level reality once again, these hidden traits are resurfacing, not as something new, but as something ancient, remembering itself through those who carry it. And this is where we begin to look deeper, because the signs of this rare spiritual power are not always dramatic or obvious. In fact, they are often subtle, quiet, even invisible to the untrained eye. But once you learn to recognize them, you cannot unsee them. Let us now uncover the first layer of these hidden signs. The truth about rare spiritual power is this: it does not announce itself. It reveals itself in patterns. Subtle behaviors, quiet tendencies, deep inner experiences that, when seen individually, may seem ordinary, but together form something extraordinary. Let us begin with the first signs. 1. She feels deeply, but rarely explains why. A woman with rare spiritual power does not just experience emotions, she absorbs the emotional atmosphere around her. She can walk into a room and instantly sense tension, even when everyone is smiling. She can feel the unspoken words behind someone's voice. She understands what people don't say more than what they do. But here is the paradox. She often struggles to explain it, because what she perceives does not come from logic, it comes from energetic intuition. It is like hearing a frequency others cannot detect. Imagine standing near the ocean. Even if you close your eyes, you can feel its presence, the humidity, the movement, the depth. That is how she experiences people. And because of this, she may sometimes feel overwhelmed, misunderstood, or even emotionally drained. This is not weakness. This is sensitivity tuned to a higher signal. 2. She has always felt different, even from a young age. Long before she understood spirituality, she felt it. As a child, she may have asked questions that others found strange. She may have preferred solitude over noise, depth over surface-level interaction. She may have felt like she didn't fully belong anywhere, as if she was observing life rather than fully immersed in it. This is not social discomfort. It is soul-level awareness. Think of it like being born into the wrong frequency. While others are tuned to one channel, she is picking up signals from multiple layers of reality. And so she adapts. She blends in. She learns to appear normal. But deep inside, she knows she is not like everyone else. And that knowing never fully leaves. 3. People are either deeply drawn to her or quietly uncomfortable. There is rarely a neutral reaction. People either feel safe, understood, and almost magnetically pulled toward her, or they feel exposed, unsettled, and unable to explain why. This is because her presence acts like a mirror, not a surface-level reflection, but a soul mirror. She unconsciously reveals what others try to hide from themselves. For some, this feels healing. For others, it feels threatening. And this can create a confusing pattern in her life. She may attract people who open up to her instantly, sharing their deepest struggles within minutes. Yet at the same time, she may also experience sudden distance, jealousy, or unexplained tension from others. This is not about her behavior. It is about the energy she carries. 4. She experiences intuitive knowing that defies logic. She knows things before they happen, not in dramatic, cinematic visions, but in quiet, subtle ways. A feeling that tells her not to trust someone, even when they seem perfect. An inner voice that guides her toward a decision without clear reasoning. A sense that something is about to change before any external sign appears. And more often than not, she is right. But here is the challenge. Because this knowing cannot always be explained, she may doubt it. She may override it with logic, only to later realize she should have listened. This intuitive intelligence is not random. It is a form of inner alignment with deeper patterns of reality, a sensitivity to shifts before they become visible, like sensing a storm before the clouds arrive. These first signs are not loud. They do not demand attention, but they form the foundation of something powerful, an inner awareness that operates beyond ordinary perception. And yet, this is only the beginning, because as we go deeper, the signs become even more profound and even more misunderstood.
The final 3 hidden signs. As we move deeper, the signs become less about what she experiences and more about what she becomes. Because rare spiritual power does not just shape perception, it transforms identity. And often, it does so through intensity. 5. She goes through repeated periods of isolation and inner transformation. Her life does not move in a straight line, it moves in cycles. Periods where everything feels aligned, followed by phases where she withdraws, disconnects, and turns inward. To others, this may look like inconsistency, like she's pulling away, like she's losing herself. But the truth is, she is rebuilding herself, again and again. These periods of isolation are not signs of weakness or avoidance. They are necessary recalibrations, like a forest that must go through seasons, losing its leaves before it can bloom again. During these phases, she may feel a strong need for solitude, emotional purging or deep reflection, a sense of shedding old identities, relationships, or beliefs. And when she emerges, she is not the same person. She is clearer, stronger, more aligned. This is the rhythm of transformation that most people resist, but she cannot escape. Because her growth is not optional, it is inevitable. 6. She has a natural ability to heal, guide, or awaken others. Without trying, people change around her. They feel seen, they feel understood, they feel safe enough to open parts of themselves they usually hide. She may notice that strangers share their life stories with her. Friends come to her for advice during their darkest moments. Even her silence can feel comforting to others. But here is what makes this different from ordinary empathy. She does not just listen, she transmits clarity. Sometimes through words, sometimes through presence alone. It is as if her energy reorganizes the chaos within others, like still water that allows everything muddy to settle. And yet, this gift comes with a hidden burden. Because if she is not careful, she may begin to carry the emotional weight of others. She may give too much. She may try to fix what is not hers to fix. This is why boundaries become essential, because true healing power is not about saving others. It is about holding space without losing yourself. 7. She feels a quiet, unexplainable sense of purpose. Even when life seems ordinary, even when nothing outwardly extraordinary is happening, there is a feeling within her, a subtle but persistent knowing that she is here for something more. Not necessarily fame, not necessarily recognition, but meaning, depth, impact. She may not always know what that purpose is. In fact, there may be long periods of confusion, frustration, or searching, but the feeling never disappears. It's like a distant call, always present in the background, guiding her decisions, pulling her away from what feels empty, drawing her toward experiences that force her to grow. And the more she ignores it, the louder it becomes. This is not ambition, this is alignment trying to happen. Because rare spiritual power is not given randomly, it carries responsibility, a quiet invitation to evolve, not just for herself, but in a way that influences others, even if she never fully realizes how. The deeper truth. When you look at all 7 signs together, a pattern begins to emerge. This is not about personality traits, this is about energetic architecture. A way of being that feels more than it should, sees what others overlook, transforms without external permission, and influences reality in subtle but undeniable ways. And perhaps the most important realization is this: many women who carry this power have spent years trying to suppress it, trying to be less sensitive, less intense, less different. But this power was never meant to be reduced. It was meant to be understood and eventually embodied. And that is where everything begins to change.
How to awaken and protect this power. Recognizing these signs is only the beginning, because awareness without integration creates confusion, and power without grounding creates chaos. So the question becomes, how does a woman with this rare spiritual sensitivity learn to live with it without being overwhelmed by it? The answer is not to suppress it. The answer is to refine it. 1. Learn the discipline of energetic boundaries. One of the greatest challenges she will face is absorbing what is not hers: emotions, tension, other people's pain. Without boundaries, her gift becomes a burden. So she must practice a simple but powerful awareness. Is this feeling mine, or did I pick it up? This single question creates separation. A practical technique. At the end of each day, sit in silence for a few minutes and mentally release everything that does not belong to you. Imagine it dissolving, like mist evaporating in sunlight. This is not imagination, it is energetic hygiene. Because just as the body needs cleansing, so does perception. 2. Create sacred time for solitude without guilt. Her need for isolation is not a flaw, it is a requirement for clarity. But society often teaches her to feel guilty for stepping back, for not always being available, for choosing silence over noise. This must be unlearned. Solitude is where her power reorganizes itself. Without it, she becomes scattered. A simple practice. Designate small periods of time, daily or weekly, where you disconnect from external input. No phone, no conversation, no distraction, just presence. Even 20 minutes of intentional solitude
can restore her inner alignment. 3. Strengthen trust in intuition through action. Her intuition is strong but often ignored, and every time she ignores it, she weakens her connection to it. So the practice is not just to listen, but to act. Start small. If something feels off, pause. If something feels right, lean into it. Do not wait for full logical proof, because intuition speaks in signals, not explanations. The more she honors it, the clearer it becomes, like a muscle that strengthens with use. 4. Ground the energy through the physical body. Spiritual sensitivity without grounding leads to anxiety, overthinking, and emotional overload. This is why she must stay connected to the physical world, not as an escape from spirituality, but as its anchor. Simple grounding methods: walking barefoot on natural ground, slow, conscious breathing, physical movement like yoga or stretching, spending time in nature without distraction. Think of it like electricity. Too much current without grounding creates instability, but when grounded, it becomes power. 5. Stop overgiving. Learn the balance of energy exchange. Because she naturally heals and supports others, she may fall into the pattern of giving endlessly, listening, helping, holding space, until she feels drained. This must change, because true spiritual power is not sacrifice, it is balance. She must learn to say no without guilt, to step back without explanation, to recognize when someone is taking without giving. A powerful shift happens when she realizes she is not responsible for everyone's healing. She is responsible for her own alignment. And from that alignment, the right people will naturally benefit. 6. Accept the cycles instead of resisting them. Her transformation will not be linear. There will be phases of clarity, followed by confusion, expansion, followed by contraction. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" she must begin asking, "What is this phase trying to show me?" When she stops resisting the cycles, she begins to work with them, and what once felt like instability becomes rhythm. Final integration. These practices are not about becoming someone new. They are about remembering how to operate as who she already is. Because rare spiritual power is not something to chase. It is something to stabilize, protect, and embody. And once she begins to do this, her presence changes, her decisions change, her entire reality begins to reorganize around a deeper level of truth. Not forcefully, but naturally, like a frequency that finally comes into tune.
The awakening of what was never lost. There is a reason these signs feel familiar. A reason they resonate not as new information, but as something quietly remembered. Because the truth is, this kind of spiritual power was never truly lost. It was only buried beneath noise, doubt, and conditioning. Hidden under years of being told to be less sensitive, less intense, less aware. But what is real cannot be erased, only forgotten. And now, for many, it is beginning to rise again. Not as something dramatic or explosive, but as a quiet shift, a deeper awareness, a stronger inner voice, a growing refusal to ignore what feels true. The woman who carries this power may not have all the answers. She may still question herself. She may still feel out of place at times. But something within her has changed. She can no longer pretend not to see what she clearly feels. And that is where the transformation begins.
Because once this awareness is acknowledged, it demands embodiment. Not perfection, but honesty. Not control, but alignment. And as she steps into this, slowly, imperfectly, but consciously, something remarkable happens. Her presence becomes intentional. Her energy becomes refined. Her life begins to move with a different kind of intelligence. Not forced, but guided. And perhaps the most powerful realization of all is this: she does not need to become powerful. She already is. The only question is, will she continue to doubt it, or will she finally begin to live as if it were true? Take a moment. Reflect honestly, not on who you think you should be, but on what you have quietly known all along. Because the moment you stop ignoring it is the moment everything begins to change.